What is it that you're dreaming about? Is it a place that you want to go, something you want to accomplish, or who you want to be, what you want to look like? It's easy to start wishing our current time away and our current lives away in hopes that we can one day do something, whether it's, oh, I want to be a mother. Oh, I want to be a pastor of a church. I want to run this business. I want to be CEO of this company. Whatever it is, sometimes it's easy for us to kind of get wrapped up in that hope for a different reality. It's easy for us to not be present with the abundant blessings that the Lord has given us right now. God has it all planned out, and whether it always feels like the grass is always greener on the other side, God has you exactly where you are for a reason. I recently studied the book of John, and I wanted to read a little snippet for you. This is John chapter 21. After this, Jesus revealed himself again to the disciples by the Sea of Tiberias, and he revealed himself in this way. Simon Peter, Thomas, called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 other of his disciples were together. Simon Peter said to them, "I'm going fishing." They said to him, "We will go with you." They went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Just as day was breaking, Jesus stood on the shore, yet the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to them, "Children, do you have any fish?" They answered him, "No." He said to them, "Cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." So they cast it, and now they were not able to haul it in because of the quantity of fish. That disciple whom Jesus loved therefore said to Peter, "It is the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his outer garment, for he was stripped for work, and threw himself into the sea. The other disciples came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not far from the land, but about 100 yards off. When they got out on land, they saw a charcoal fire in place, with fish laid out on it, and bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish that you have just caught." So Simon Peter went aboard and hauled the net ashore, full of large fish, 153 of them. And although there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." Now none of the disciples dared ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Jesus came and took the bread and gave it to them, and so with the fish. This was now the 3rd time that Jesus was revealed to the disciples after he was raised from the dead. Now at this point in the Gospel of John, it's after Jesus had been crucified and he had been resurrected, and this was, as the last verse said, the 3rd time that Jesus appeared to the disciples. Probably not many of us are currently in a boat not being able to catch some fish. I feel like this is a good example, though, for what it looks like to actually listen to God and go through with what he's asking you to do. Now, it's no secret that the disciples liked to fish. Of course, they're going to continue to do their profession where they've been placed, and sometimes it seems like you might be lost, or you feel like you might be hitting a wall, or you really want some change, but God has placed you right there with a purpose. You might not see it yet, but God has you there for a reason. It might feel like you're out in the middle of the ocean and you're not catching any fish and you're just sitting there thinking, wow, this is a waste of time, God. But maybe God will tell you something that might seem a little odd, like, oh, you want me to put my net down even though I've been trying to? Some of us might, myself included, might be prone to questioning certain things that God might be telling us to do. But who are we to question him? If God puts something on your heart, if he tells you something, if he wants you to reach out to somebody, or he wants you to go somewhere, move somewhere, or text somebody, join a certain ministry, whatever it may be, who are we to try to dictate what we should and shouldn't listen to when God's the one that's speaking to us? Ultimately, God knows what's best for us, just like he knew what was best for these disciples. They could have chosen to have the attitude of, come on, Jesus, we've been doing this all night and we haven't caught any fish. You really think that this time we can put the net over and finally catch some fish just because you said something? They could have had that attitude. They could have very easily had that attitude, but they didn't. They didn't hesitate. They just threw the net into the water, and lo and behold, they couldn't even bring the net in because Jesus provided so abundantly. And if they would have questioned it, who knows, maybe they wouldn't have caught those fish. Maybe it was a test from Jesus to see that they trust him. It's similar to us, because sometimes the Lord does speak to me and I'm like, oh God, I'm not ready for that. All right, God, maybe in a couple days. Like, oh, maybe later. I'm not equipped for that. But it's like, if God tells us to do something, whether we feel ready or not, there's a reason why he's called us to that place. No matter what, the Lord will provide. If it's something that he's ordained and something that he's telling you to do. If you feel like you're questioning it in your soul, in your heart, ask some other people to start praying for you, because God is not a God of confusion. He's the God of peace, and he absolutely does not contradict himself. So if you're feeling like, okay, I don't know why you're telling me to do that, God, reach out to your community or pray that God gives you the discernment to be able to figure out if that is something from him or not. He will make it clear. Spend time in the Word, and just you'll know how to pinpoint his voice and separate it from the voices of this world. If the Lord is leading you to it, he's going to provide abundantly. There's no doubt about that. There's another few verses in John chapter 21 that I thought kind of tied in with the same theme. This is starting in verse 20. Peter turned and saw the disciple whom Jesus loved following them, the one who had also leaned back against him during the supper and had said, "Lord, who is it that is going to betray you?" When Peter saw him, he said to Jesus, "Lord, what about this man?" Jesus said to him, "If it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? You follow me." So the saying spread abroad among the brothers that this disciple was not to die. Yet Jesus did not say to him that he was not to die, but if it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? This is the disciple who is bearing witness about these things, and who has written these things, and we know that his testimony is true. Now there are also many other things that Jesus did. Were every one of them to be written, I suppose that the world itself could not contain the books that would be written. That passage really spoke to me because I'm the kind of person that likes to have answers. If I feel like I'm at a dead end, or I feel like there's a goal that I want to accomplish, but I'm like, how do I get there? It's not time yet. When is it going to be time, God? I always want answers, but sometimes it's not my place to know just yet. If it's not time, then the Lord will let me know that it's not time. But if it is time, God's going to make that path clear. If God has it all planned out, why do we need to have all the answers right now? Everything happens in his perfect timing, and he has a reason for all of it. Even though, speaking from experience here, because this is still something that I struggle with, I can be pretty impatient in my head. Like, my mind is always wanting to go to the next thing and plan the next thing, and I have a tendency to want to have my future planned out in front of me so that there's no surprises. But I know that I'm not in control, and God is, and it's taken me a while to be able to be comfortable with that and be comfortable with the unknown, and being able to fully relinquish my desire for control in that regard, because it's like, what do I know? I don't know anything. My whole life could change tomorrow, and I have absolutely no idea. All I know is what's happening in my life around me right now. And even that, I don't know all the details about it, you know? But I have a relationship with the one who does. So it's like, why don't I trust him? Why don't I try to listen to him? Why don't I follow him whenever he tells me to go somewhere? Where he leads, I will follow. I don't know if you've seen Gilmore Girls, but me saying that sentence just now kind of reminded me of the theme song. Big fan of Gilmore Girls, definitely big fan. I don't need to have the answers right now. Even though I want them, there's a reason why I don't have the answers right now. There's a reason why I don't know the plan. There's a reason why I don't know what my future's gonna look like. I'm just in control of what's happening right now. I'm in control of what I'm doing right now in this present moment. But I don't have control over the people around me, or my environment, or what's gonna happen tomorrow or next month or next year. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I serve the God who knows everything. I serve a God who has already paved the way for everybody on this world. He knows exactly what's going to happen, and he is totally in control over everything. There's nothing that we can do, there's nothing that can happen in this world that surprises him, because he created this entire universe. He knows exactly what we're going to go through. He knows exactly what our lives are going to look like in 10 years, 30 years. He knows exactly what's going to happen. He knows how many grains of sand are in all of the oceans. He knows how many strands of hair are on our heads. He knows every single thing about us. So if we serve a God who knows everything about our lives, both past, present, and future, why wouldn't we want to trust him? Why wouldn't we want to believe what he says? Because he's not going to lead us into a life of confusion. He's going to lead us into a life of peace, and he's going to lead us into a life of fulfillment and contentment, and he's going to lead us in a way that glorifies him, and he's going to lead us to be more like his son, Jesus. So if we know that that is the true and correct and most God-glorifying way that we can live our lives, why do we actively choose to go a different path? This is something, again, that all these things that I'm saying are definitely things that I struggle with or have struggled with, but it's like, why would I want to choose a life that doesn't glorify him if I know that's just going to separate me from the good that's to come in my life of following and glorifying God? God has our best interest at heart. So if we're like, yes, I know that you have my best interest at heart, God, but actually I want to go this way that's not in my best interest. Why do we feel like we know better than God? We need to pray that God gives us the discernment, and we need to pray that God gives us the ears to hear him and the heart to follow him. We need to pray that he softens our heart and that we become more submissive to him. God has a plan for you, and it's a plan that will absolutely blow you away. It probably isn't going to look like how you're expecting it to. In fact, it's probably going to look wildly different because that's kind of how it works. But that's such a wonderful thing. Our lives are going to be so much better than we can ever imagine it to be because the Lord knows exactly what we need. And the Lord knows the path that we need to take so that we can pour into other people and so that we can share that love for Christ with other people. He knows exactly what communities we need to be in, what schools we need to be at, what workplaces we need to be at, what neighborhoods we need to live in, what churches we need to go to. He knows all of that, and he's designed our lives with so much intentionality. So who are we to try to dictate that? Who are we to try to say that our decisions are more important than God's decisions? Who are we to try to overrule what God has already laid out for us in our lives? If we devote our lives to following God, he will give us peace that surpasses all understanding. He will provide us with fulfillment and contentment, and we will be dwelling in the house of the Lord forever. We will spend eternity with him, and that's so much better than spending eternity separated from him in hell. So much better. And to finish up this video, I would love to pray for you. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for this person that's listening right now. Whatever they're going through, whatever is burdening their heart, whatever is taking up their mental space, God, I just ask that you be with them and you provide them with that peace that surpasses all understanding. God, you know what's best for all of us, and you know what lies before us, and you know where we need to go. Soften this person's heart so that they are able to hear you and give them the boldness to be able to follow you, God. Provide them with comfort. Show them that you are there with them. Help them notice your presence more and more every day, and give them joy and provide them with so many reminders that you have never left their side. And God, I pray that you calm their heart and you help them remember that you are in control of everything and that it's okay to relinquish that control and give it all to you, God, because I'm confident that you will guide their steps, God. You will lead them to where you want them to be. Give them the ears to hear you and the eyes to see you, God. Thank you so much for this person that's listening. I ask that you show them reminders that you are walking with them hand in hand through whatever they're going through right now. Thank you so much, Lord, and I pray all of these things in your precious name. Amen.